I recently did a video where I bought and reviewed the 3 cheapest watches I could find on Amazon. One I ended up destroying and harvesting the strap from. The second I ended up returning because I just couldn't see myself wearing it. But the third one, this one is shockingly good, and it cost less than $10. This is the VAVC Waterproof Analog Nurse Watch. Probably the worst name that I've ever heard for a watch, so my expectations were pretty low. But this watch has really blown me away, and if you're on a tight budget but really want a solid watch for the money, I'd strongly consider this one. I'll leave the Amazon link down below if you're interested in picking up one for yourself. But I've come up with a list of 7 reasons why this $10 watch is so good, starting with the lume. The lume on this watch is absolutely ridiculous. The dial is white, at least the variation that I bought, but it almost has this subtle off-white sort of eggshell green glow to it. And this glow just gets brighter and brighter as you move the watch into more darkness. And in complete darkness, especially with the lume fully charged up with light, it's almost unbelievable how bright this thing is. Honestly, one of the best things I can compare it to is if you've ever had a Timex watch with Indiglow. Indiglow is basically Timex's battery-powered backlight that they use in a lot of their watches. But the nice thing about Indiglow is that it lights up the entire dial of the watch with this very bright glow. You can see this here on my Timex Expedition Scout. And obviously this watch is a little bit different than our VAVC, which has a white dial as compared to the black dial on the Timex. It's just crazy to me how similar they are and how the VAVC is actually brighter in a lot of cases compared to a battery-powered backlight. The next thing I love about this watch is its solid stainless steel case construction. It's got a good weight to it, it's very nicely polished, and it's just so much better than most watches for this price. Like most watches under, let's say, $20 are usually constructed of things like plastic or resin. Like even most Casio watches, they might have a stainless steel bracelet, but most of the actual case construction is made with metallic looking resin. It's a simple, well-constructed stainless steel case, which is just beyond what you would expect. By the way, if you're hunting for new budget watches or just like looking at them, check out what I built at WristFind.com. It's basically Tinder for discovering new affordable watches. You can see pictures, specs, prices, and save your favorites. It's also 100% free to use. Just head to WristFind.com and start swiping. The next feature that you also wouldn't expect on a watch at this price is quick release straps. You can easily remove and change out the strap on this watch without any tools needed. The strap that it comes with is fine. It's nothing special, but it gets the job done. It's a pretty simple, smooth, black silicone band. So you can definitely keep the watch as is and just leave on the original straps, or you can do what I did and swap it out. But the quick release pins just make that so much easier, and again, it's just not something that you would expect on a watch that's $10. The next thing I like about this watch is it has a very simple, respectable dial. It's got that very visible pilot watch or field watch look to it, with the minutes and 24-hour time around the dial in that bright red color, and then the backdrop of that sort of off-white green glowing dial. But it just feels very simple and original, which I think is really cool. And that carries over into the next thing that I really like about this watch, which are the hands. The minute and hour hands are essentially white with a very well painted black border. And funny enough, the hands themselves actually don't have any lume on them, even though they look like they would. But the hands themselves look awesome, and that painted jet black border around them is just so much better than most hands that you see at this price. And then obviously the red seconds hand is a really cool eye-catching piece of this. The far end of the hand also has a little bit of white with the red paint forming a border around it. And then the short end of the hand actually has a cutout, so it has that sort of floating border. But overall, just a great set of hands on this watch that punch way above their price point. All right, next thing I like about this watch, which is actually something I didn't notice until I read the comments on that original video, which is that this watch is super quiet. A lot of quartz watches, especially the really cheap ones, tend to have really loud, annoying movements. In fact, right now I can actually hear the destroyed Biden watch in the background ticking away. That thing has one of the loudest movements I've heard. Whereas this one is almost completely silent unless you really press it up to your ear. So that is a very nice feature about this watch. It doesn't have that same sort of cheap plasticky feeling or sound that most of these watches have. And it probably has a lot to do with the case construction and materials used. Okay, and the final thing that I like about this watch, this is a pretty obvious one, it's the price. I think we're so used to expecting low quality, replaceable trash at prices like this, but to me, this watch proves that wrong. And who knows, maybe this thing won't actually last that long or it'll end up breaking at some point, but I've been wearing this thing quite a bit and so far so good. I also feel like I can't really complain for a watch that costs less than $10. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Is this a watch that you would buy or wear yourself? Or is this another cheap watch that should be thrown away? Let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out. And if you want to see that original video where I bought and reviewed 3 watches from Amazon, watch this right here. Have a great rest of your day. Happy watch collecting, and I'll see you in the next video.